done.
Shabbat Shalom, friends. We're on page 19 in your prayer book, the last two lines in Hebrew on page 19. May God give strength to the people. May God bless us with peace. What an appropriate way to begin our service this evening. We need strength more than ever, and we need peace more than ever as well. All of us. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all of you who are here. Thank you for coming tonight, and for those who are watching online, we're glad that you're here as well. We especially want to welcome our guests from Israel, Aviva and Ilan and Neva and Udi. We'll hear your stories later. Thank you for being with us, and we hope that you'll feel the love of this congregation. Tonight we also hold the people of Tel Aviv in our hearts after the drone strike last night, which killed one person and injured several more. As we enter Shabbat with the blessing of the Shabbat candles, we pray for those defending Israel, for the safe return of the hostages and an end to violence, bloodshed, and unrest. Let this Shabbat be a Shabbat with more shalom. We continue with the blessing of the Shabbat candles.
Page 5. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik leh shel Shabbat. We'll continue our service tonight with a brief Kabbalat Shabbat, so we have time to hear from our speakers. The two settings that we'll sing are songs from Israel. First is a song that will likely be new to many of you in the audience, in the community. You're not an audience, you're just out in front of me. That is a setting of Shiru Ladonai, Psalm 96, which actually says, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, sing to God a new song. So it'll be a new song for most of us. And we'll continue with a Lachadodi, which many of you do know. That comes from the Reformed congregation in Jerusalem, Kol HaNeshama. We'll continue straight into that, but you'll be familiar with it. The Shiru Ladonai is written by a group called the Nigun Ensemble, Shani Ben Or, Boaz Dorot, and Neda Rosner Wachs. And they are a group also based out of Jerusalem, who I had the privilege of working with 2 years ago during my time in Israel. And an intro that they wrote to this song, I'm just going to read it for you, and then we'll learn it and sing it. They write, being born and raised in Jerusalem is to know that almost every piece of land, every stone and tree has a story to tell. And yet, this ancient city has also been the center of Jewish renewal and innovation throughout history. This is why we are especially full of joy and excitement every time we succeed in composing a new setting for a traditional prayer in Yerushalayim. We have seen here how through a new song, Shir Chadash, one can become an active participant in shaping the ever-changing landscape of our city. It is our ability to sing a new song together that connects us to God, to ourselves, and to one another. We're on page 13, and Allison's going to give us a chord, and I'll teach you the phrases, and then we'll sing it. Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Now your turn.
Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash.
You sound beautiful. The next part. Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Now you.
Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz.
Beautiful. Shir Ladonai, Baruch Shemo.
Shir Ladonai, Baruch Shemo.
And then the last part. Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato.
Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato.
Gorgeous. We're going to do it a lot of times, so you're going to catch on. We'll start. Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shir Ladonai, Baruch Shemo. Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato. Sabru bagoyim kevodo. Bechol ha'amim mipneotav. Ki gadol Adonai umehulal meod. Norahu al kol Elohim. Shir Ladonai,
Shir Chadash. Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shir Ladonai, Baruch Shemo. Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato.
Sabru bagoyim kevodo. Bechol ha'amim nifleotav. Ki gadol Adonai umehulal meod. Norahu al kol Elohim.
Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shir Ladonai, Baruch Shemo. Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato.
Sabru bagoyim kevodo. Bechol ha'amim nifleotav. Ki gadol Adonai umehulal meod. Norahu al kol Elohim. One last time, Shir Ladonai.
Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shir Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Matzor Yom Le'yom Yeshuato.
You all sound beautiful. Page 20, tragedy.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela.
Shamor vezavor ve'dibor echad, Hishmiyanu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, Leshem u'tiferet ve'litina.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orek u'mi'ori, uri, uri, shir daberi, ke'od Adonai alayich nigna.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Please rise and face the entrance to our sanctuary as together we greet Shabbat.
Omi ve'shalom, ateret v'ala, gam besimcha u'sola, tov emunei am segula.
Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Erev Shabbat nekabela. Having greeted Shabbat, we turn to greet all the people around us. Please turn around, find somebody maybe that you don't know, wish them Shabbat Shalom. And we're going to remain standing as we continue with Baruch Hu, you can find it in your prayer book on page 46.
Lai, 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 lai.
146. Please be seated together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhmah poteach she'arim uvitfuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech ve'choshech mipnei or.
Umavir yom umevil layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai tzevot shemo, Elchad v'kayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamarim Aravim.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta. Torah umitzvot, chukim umishpatim otanu limadata. Al kain Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu uvkumenu nasiach b'chukecha. V'nismach b'divrei Toratcha umitzvotecha leolam va'ed.
Yichem chayinu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, ve'avatecha ad tasir mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Let's listen to each other's voices. So for on bottom of page 151, we'll do this reading, and we'll have this side together with me start the first little stanza, and then we'll have the side on Emily's side respond with each indented stanza. Together, we worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. Let's all read together. We learned God's presence redeems time and event. So we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Tehilot, Osefele, Nora Tehilot, Osefele. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you,
Hamidenu Shomreinu B'chaim.
Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom. Hamidenu Shomreinu Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom. Hamidenu Shomreinu
Page 154. Leishamru b'nei Yisrael et
HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat
לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם.
בין יהודים, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם.
וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We continue now with Tefillah, page 155. We invite you please to rise as you are able.
Adonai, Sefatei שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו וישני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמנת להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. We take a few moments now for personal prayer and reflection, to be alone together with this community of prayer and concern. We take a moment to offer words of our tradition. There are words here on pages 166 and 167. If you're not sure what to say, or you can offer the words of your heart, you can just be present with your breath. We take a few moments now for silence. We take this moment in our service to think of those in our circle of family and friends who are in need of healing, healing of body, healing of spirit. We think this evening of all of the hostages and their families. We think this evening of our friends and loved ones, David Bargman, Susan Bargman, Janine Bronin, Maura Brown, Susan Buckley, Miriam Batchava, Larry Cohn, Sherry Cohn, Cheryl Dresner, Sherry Dworkin, Stanley Edelman, Abraham Ben Esther, Jonathan Adam Goldberg, Joan Green, Annie Gross, Barbara Gross, Rita Jacobson, Stephen Kaplan, Ruth Kasloff, Marion Katz, Joshua Kravitz, Stephen Kravitz, Mona Kreiner, Sandy Krolwich, Jeffrey Lakend, Penny Landisi, Bill Lehman, Pat Lehman, Patricia Lerner, Debbie Lifton, Harvey Matlick, Sonia Oberman, Selma Sherman, Michael Smoller, Rabbi Jonathan Stein, Rhea Tabakin, Roberta Zoll. If there are others that you're thinking of, others in your circle of family or friends who are in need of healing, I invite you to mention their names aloud. We think of them all, we lift them in our hearts and our prayers. For those we've mentioned aloud, for those we hold in our hearts, for those who are struggling with addiction, for those in recovery, for all of them, we ask God to bless them. As Moses prayed for his sister Miriam, we sing, Ana, Elna, Rifanala, please heal them all.
Oh
I was listening today to one of my favorite Israeli musicians, Eviatar Banai, and the song came around to one of his best known. It's called Ad Machar Od Me'at, until tomorrow, just a little bit more. These words kind of summarize my prayer for these families who are with us and their loved ones. How much longer will this go on? How much more can we take? When will they come home? And if only, God willing, can it be tomorrow? Our guests from Israel are here visiting as a part of a delegation from the Hostages and Missing Family Forum, a remarkable organization that started in October to support the families of those who were taken hostage on October 7th and to advocate for their release. Tonight we'll hear the stories of some of those who were and remain most affected by this terribly difficult time in Jewish history. We'll hear about the work of the Families Forum, and we'll hopefully have a few minutes to ask some questions to understand what they would like for us to do as their extended family members on this side of the ocean. Tonight we welcome to the Bima Aviva Siegel, who herself was held hostage until late November. She's also the wife of Keith Siegel, who is still being held hostage, and she's here with one of their daughters, Ilan. We welcome Neva Venkart, mother of hostage Omer Venkart, and Udi Regev, cousin of deceased hostage Tal Chaimi. If you'll please join me in welcoming them to Shari Tefillah, and we're going to invite you all to come on up. So we're glad that you're all here, and this morning we had the honor of hosting our friends here at Shari Tefillah with some of the clergy, the Reformed clergy here in the city, and we are going to turn the mic over to you to share your story and to share about the work of the Forum and what it means to you, share a little bit about your loved ones, and we're grateful that you're all here. So I'm not sure who's starting, but we have 2 microphones so we can...
Shabbat Shalom to everybody here. I'm excited to be here. Keith's mom turned 97 a couple of weeks ago. She's from North Carolina. Keith was brought up in North Carolina, and she was the first lady president in a big, huge synagogue in Chapel Hill. And she was so honored and loved by the community. And whenever I come to a shul like this, I think about her, because they were connected. They used to go every shishi, every Shabbat, every holiday. And I love that. I love the connection. I want to tell you that I used to think about how come the Jews all over the world don't just come and live in Israel. We need them in Israel. And now I understand how much we need you. And I feel that you are with us and that I'm with you. And without you, Israel would never survive. So I want to thank you for all the prayers and all the love and all your big hearts that you have being with us in Israel. Thank you. So Keith is American. He's 65. And while we were taken in captivity, he was asked if he's got a different passport. And he said no. So I asked him, why don't you tell them that you're American? So he said that he was scared, that if he says that he's American, he will be taken out and I will be left there. And now Keith is American and he's still there and I'm out. Keith is very, very sweet and very gentle. He was a vegan for many years until the grandchildren came and they started eating pizza. So he would never kill a fly, and it's very hard for him thinking about us not being vegan. So that's the kind of person Keith is. He thinks about everybody. Everybody loves him. He's he's a people person, and he knows how to connect. And I do hope that Keith there in Gaza is able to connect to his with, and that he's not alone, and he's got somebody on our side to be. And I just have the feeling that I want to say that we're so lucky to be Jews, because being a Hamas terrorist, I think, is the worst thing that anybody should be, because they aren't people, they're monsters, and the Jews, wherever they are, stay people and stay human. So that's what we did when I was in captivity. We looked after each other. We weren't alone, Keith and I. Sometimes we were more and sometimes we were less with people. But we used to love each other through our eyes, just looking at each other, because we weren't allowed to talk, we weren't allowed to whisper. Most of the days we had to keep quiet the whole day and the whole night. Not move, not stand, not walk. We were tortured all the time. We were starving all the time while they used to eat in front of us. They didn't give us water. So many times we had to beg for water. And the stories that you've been hearing are true. I was there. I felt them. I still feel them. And the hostages, the 120 hostages that are there, need to come back. They're suffering, and we're suffering with them. And it just seems not right that they're there for so long, going through what they're going through. And for me, saying all these horrible and hard stories of what I went through, and they're still there. I want to say sorry that I'm not going to tell you too many things, because there are children here in the church, in the synagogue, sorry. I'm tired, it's like in the middle of the night. So I'm going to keep the bad stories, but I'll just tell you a couple of things. Every night, Keith used to tell us that everybody needs to say something good. I remember the first time that he said that we need to say something good, and I said to myself, there's nothing good about this place. How can I say something good? But then I thought, and every time, every evening, I used to say the same thing. Thank you that you're here with me and that I've got you. And thank you for being with me. And that's what I used to say every night to the people that I was with. I used to say every night, Ha'ikar lakum leboker chadash. That means the most important thing is to wake up tomorrow morning, because death, there was a cloud of death around me for 51 days. I was sure that I would not survive. So I'm lucky to be here with you and to be alive and to be with my children, that they keep me and look after me and help me, because I would never have been able to go through what I'm going through after being 51 days in Gaza without them. So thank you, Ilani. I'll just tell you one thing, and then I'll move it to somebody else. We try to keep a little bit normal some of the times when we allowed ourselves to, when we could. So one of the days, the Hamas terrorists brought us a plate, and it was full of rice. And it was delicious. I'd hardly ate the whole day. And it was just a little bit of rice. It wasn't that much. It wasn't a meal. It was just a couple of bites. But it was so tasty. And I was sitting and thinking, how can I thank the person that made the rice? And then I said, I know what I'm going to do. And that night and the day after, I took a box of the medicine that they brought me, and I broke it up into little pieces, tiny little pieces. And the next evening that we got a half a pita to eat on the tray, I took the pieces of paper and I made a heart with it. And I said, say thank you to your mom for the rice. I just wanted to be human. And we all, humans, need to be human. So thank you. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for everything what you're doing. And the service was amazing. It really touched. Special. Very, very special. Thank you.
Good evening. Shabbat Shalom. It's hard to be here and to think about my family in Israel. Instead of 5 persons, there are now 3 persons, because I'm here and Omer, my son, is in Gaza. But I'm in a mission. I'm in a mission to bring my son home. I'm Niva Venkert. I'm Omer's mother. I'm a hostage mother. I'm married to Shai, and together we have 3 kids. Omer is our oldest. We have more 2 kids. Khan is 19 years old, and Maya, she's 13 and a half, regular teenager. At that horrible Saturday, we woke up to loud sirens. We live in Gedera. This is 40 kilometers from Gaza Strip. And we called Omer because he wasn't at home. We went to the shelter at our home and called him. He told us that he's in the Nova Fest. He went there with Kim Damti, she's a childhood friend, and they are looking for a shelter because of the missiles, the attack. After a few minutes, he started to text me, Mommy, everything is okay. We are in the shelter, don't worry. And when the minutes are running, we keep texting, and at 7:50 he texted me that he is scared to death. And this was the last text from him. At afternoon, my husband got a phone call that told him that Omer is alive, but is not in our hands. The Hamas released a video that we saw Omer in a truck with 4 or 5 terrorists around him, putting a Kalashnikov to his head, shouting, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, beating him. He's with his hands behind his back, with his underwear. And at one moment, I saw Omer look direct to the camera, and I know this is my Omer. In this horrible situation, he knows what he is doing. He has to look direct to the camera for us. I can't describe you how it is to be a hostage mother. I feel I'm not good enough mother for my other kids because I'm unconditionally Omer mother now. And he needs us. I promise myself and I promise him that I will bring him back home. He promised me grandchildren, and we are both going to keep our promises. I'm here today because I need your help. I need your help because I'm scared to death that the hostages story will be forgotten. And I'm here to be sure that it's never forgotten until the last hostages, Keith, Omer, everybody, come back home. They are alive. My son is not a placat. My son has soul. He is alive. And I'm waiting for him. I'm missing him a lot. And you can help me to keep this issue the public's opinion again until the last one coming back, please. And if I may ask you the last thing, please imagine this smile come to me. Imagine my hug with him. Imagine the tears of joy mixing together, his and mine. Imagine with all your sentence, because I believe there is big tether, frequency that bigger than us, and it came to Omer and keep his faith and hope that he is coming back home. Thank you very much.
Good evening, my name is Udi, and I'm the cousin of Tal Chaimi. Tal was a part of the emergency squad of Kibbutz Nir Yitzchak on October 7th as the word got out that there were terrorists on the fence. Without hesitation, Tal took arms and went out to defend his home and his family. For 2 months, we didn't really know what had happened. We only knew that his phone was traced to Gaza, and we were eagerly waiting to get news of Tal and have him back home. After 2 months, we got a final confirmation from the IDF that Tal was murdered that morning, fighting bravely in the face of sheer evil. Because of the emergency squad of Kibbutz Nir Yitzchak, the kibbutz was relatively not hit. Only 8 people were killed that morning and 8 people were kidnapped. Tal, his partner Lior, also in the emergency squad, his brother-in-law Oren, also a part of the emergency squad, are all still held in Gaza. And we are waiting for them as well. And these days, as we hear about the hostage deal that's about to be hopefully brokered very soon, this is a time of extreme anxiety for us, because we've been through this several times already. And from what we hear from everyone, and we in the forum have luckily formed very strong bonds with all the powers that be, we know that this is it. Now is the time. And we are very much hoping that Netanyahu's trip to Washington, D.C., this upcoming Wednesday to speak, is one that's going to seal this deal. He has an appointment, a personal appointment with President Biden. And at this point in time, we believe that this is the one and only thing that he should be taking care of, because it's been over 9 months. The forum that we are a part of has been serving 2 purposes. One is supporting the families, and this has been a huge support. I imagine you've heard of this. I assume even that some of you have been helpful in supporting the forum, where at many times at places where the state couldn't take care of the families, this is where the forum came in. And I want to extend the same thank you that you've heard for greeting us into this amazing service and into your home, because to many people, the forum, the actual building where the forum is, has become their second home. People who have lost practically everything. On October 7th, they have no home. They have a family member that's still being held hostage in Gaza. Communities were torn apart. And the forum has become their home. There are people who come there every single day, either for the company, for conversation, to be among peers, for mental support, to get treatment. And the other thing the forum does is that it has become the most influential, I would say almost lobbying firm for the most important topic in Israel. And over these 9 months, we've been able to reach every single person in every position that has anything to do with the hostages, being the American administration, of course, the Israeli administration, and every other country that has to do with the negotiations. And this has been crucial in getting us to where we are right now. And I would finalize with extending Niva's plea of you. If you know of the forum, if you know the contacts, and there are our local representatives here from the New York office, I think there is no greater cause at this point in Israel where you could help. And that's on the one hand. And then on the other hand, we ask you specifically at this point in time to speak up. Wherever you can, speak up. Be it on social media, be it in conversations with friends within this congregation, outside this congregation. Write to your Congress member, write to the president. Let them know that this is what you also stand for, that now is the time to end this catastrophe. And once this has ended, we, the families, we, Israel, and I would also say we, the Jewish people, we know how much you have been affected during this period, living here as Jews in America. We can end this catastrophe and start rebuilding. So again, extending the thank you. And we want to leave some time for questions from you guys. If you want to address us, any of us, feel free to ask anything. There's probably nothing you can surprise us with.
Thank you, Adi. Hold on to that microphone. Questions. I want to invite you to focus on questions. If you have opinions, I'm sure that our friends would be glad to hear them. But today we want to focus on questions that you have for them about their experience, about the forum, about what we can do. We had a Congregational Israel trip in the winter, and we were able to visit the forum and saw the amazing work that is done there, and it was truly inspiring and amazing. Questions, friends? I'm going to give the microphone so everybody can hear, including folks online.
You have access to information about your family members in Gaza? Does anybody know where they are? Do they?
We got the sign of life at the 54 day, after 54 day. And this was the last sign of life, so a lot of days going to since then. Liam Orr, that is one of the released hostages, told us that he was with Omer all these 54 days. He told us that Omer is in good shape. He's keeping hope and full of faith that he's coming back. He's singing in the captivity. They are trying to keep themselves from the reality. They were in the tunnels, no water, and they are doing their needs in a bucket. They don't take a shower. They eat only 3 dates a day, and sometimes they gives them quarter of pita. But since then we have nothing. But I know Omer is coming back. we're telling this in the present, because Omer is a present, Omer is coming back. And that's all.
The last single of life, sign of life, we got is from the video that Hamas released of my dad and Omri. And so that was more than 2 months ago. And that was the last one we got. But we also know that my dad is a strong person. And we know by other hostage that was with him that he saw on TV the release of my mom. So he knows that she's home. And I'm sure that it gives him a lot of hope to cope and to stay strong and come back home.
Thank you for being here tonight. Something like 1 out of every 7 or 8 Israelis are like me. They're from the former Soviet Union. Can you talk about the role that Russia has, in your opinion, perhaps has not played, and also putting pressure on Hamas to get your loved ones freed?
I think we're gonna stay on the hostages and on the people that are here and their stories, and then maybe after we can, if someone has an answer for that, but we'll keep it about the hostages.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I know, speaking for myself, and I think I can speak for others, that we all want to help, or we want to be more helpful. And if you could maybe talk a little bit more about what we can do. For example, do you need volunteers in the New York office? You mentioned Israel. Do you need volunteers in Israel? If you could just provide a few more ideas or guidance, because you have a very willing and loving audience here.
Thank you. So first I will say, also, we'll stay out of geopolitical issues, especially when they're so complex. If you want to address this later, I'll be happy to speak of this. Dana from the New York office is right there. So I'm sure she'll be more than willing to let you know how you can volunteer here. But I will say this, since these are truly crucial days, as far as we're concerned, the most important thing right now is to have your voices heard anywhere possible. You know, as far as we're concerned, if you could hang a sign in front of the shul to tell everyone this place supports the hostage deal, the immediate release of the hostages right now, that would be phenomenal. If this can go in any of the local newspapers, excellent. If this can go further, even better. Because if at any other time, I would say the most important thing would be supporting the forum, or would be raising awareness. At this very point in time, the most important thing is putting pressure on your government and our government, if you have an idea on how to do that, to make sure that they know that this community is asking for a hostage deal.
I understand the reluctance to get into any political situation, and I respect that. However, getting the hostages back is a political question. So my question to you is, would a change of government in Israel help get the hostages back? Just a yes or no.
Excellent question. We get asked that all the time, both here and in Israel. And the answer is absolutely not, because going into a term of elections means that everything is pushed back and all the focus goes into a period of elections, right? And then the government turns into like an intermediary government. They would not be willing to take any big risks, because then the only focus becomes the next election. From the day the forum was founded on October 8th to this very day, we have not changed what we say. This is the government, this is the prime minister, this happened on their shift, it's their responsibility to bring them back. Everything else is just background noise.
Aviva and Ilan and Neva and Udi, we're so grateful that you're here. We pray that your loved ones are home soon, and we want to be partners with you in doing what we can to work to make that happen. We would welcome you back to the congregation in happier days and happier moments, and we hope and pray that you feel our love going with you as you go on your way. And we're just so grateful that you spent time with us. They came in last night, and all of us were affected by the Microsoft outage. They couldn't check into their hotel because the computer system was down. So I don't know how many hours of sleep they are operating on, but we're especially grateful that you could be with us. Can you please join me in thanking all of our friends? Of course.
I just want to say one last thing, unless one of you want to say something. No. Okay, so I wanted to say, when we were sitting here and listening to the beautiful singing of Emily and you, Neva asked me if like, how do I feel like being here, and I didn't think that much, and I told her it's hard for me. And then I thought why I said it. And I told her that, first of all, I haven't been in a happy place for more than 9 months. I haven't been in places that people were smiling or singing. And it showed me how much time I wasn't feeling happy. And the second thing is, I really felt your belief, like in the words that you were singing. And I felt like all the security that I had until October 7th, and how much I feel that was taken from me on October 7th, when I realized that both of my parents were taken into Gaza. And since then, I kind of feel like I lost all my beliefs in everything. And to hear you sing and believing gave me the hope that even though I don't believe right now in anything, you do. So I want to ask you to keep believing and keep holding the hope for us, because we have many days that we don't have any hope. And for me to go home and raise 3 kids and know that there's a place in New York City that has so much hope and so much belief in their words, and they can sing it out loud, is huge. So thank you.
Thanks to all of you for being here. It's summertime, lots of things pull our attention, and I know that you feel as I do that there's no more important place we could be. A prayer for the redemption of the captives by Rabbis Ofer and Rachel Shabbat Beit Halachmi. Eloheinu Matira Ha'asurim. Our God, the one we call Redeemer of the captives. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit. Be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to all those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they may be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. As the psalmist says, they shall call upon me and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. And we say together, Amen. Aleinu L'Shabeach is a prayer that imagines that the world can be different, that it is, and religions at their best are about imagining that the world can be more whole. And it is this combination of a prayer that calls upon God to make the world better, and also in which we are reminded that it is incumbent upon us to be partners with the Holy One in making it so. We rise for Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 283.
Adon hakol, latet gedula leotze breshit, shelo sanu chigye haratzot, velo samanu ki mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam helkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu משחבים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים
Please be seated.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We'll mention the names of those we're remembering. If you hear the name of a loved one, we invite you please to stand. The congregation extends its condolences to Jeffrey Posson on the death of his aunt, Rita Schuster, this week. In the period of Shloshim, remember Sandra Silverman, mother of Deborah Silverman, Hanan Reich, uncle of Jody Weiss, Barbara Gobel, mother of Jason Gobel, Johnny Cavaliero, husband of Minnie Wigato, Julius Brown, father of Kathy Brown, and these whose yard sites, the anniversaries of their deaths are marked at this time: Emily Bauer, Joan May Burleson, Isidore Blechman, Hortense Braunschweiger, Dr. Eugene Clark, Roberta Corwin, Charles O. Deutsch, Michael Elkin, Nathaniel Fields, Nani Katz-Freudenberg, Roseanne Gordon, Samuel Gorkowski, Johanna Hess, Morris Hess, Stanley Horbar, Faye Hurwitz, Charles L. Carlson, Marcia Kaplan,
Rebecca Kellert, Beatrice Krumholtz, Herman Langstner, Irving Lasky, William Ira Leffler, Eleanor Lemchen, William I. Levy, Sarah Miriam Luntz, Herman Mandel, Sylvia Marcoon, Andrew Peter Mendel, Francis Minters, Barbara Joy Morris, Goldie Pomerantz, Louis R. Price, Leon A. Rains, Samuel Raisler, Bernard Rosenthal, Edith Rothfeld, Norma Saunders, Florence Sawyer, Herbert Alfred Sachs, Marty Schulman, Martin Silverstein, Muriel Fisher Tenenbaum, Norman Wolfson, Rose Zellman.
If there are others that you're remembering, we invite you to rise and mention your loved one's name aloud. Zichronam livracha, may their memories live as an enduring blessing. We remember as well those who have no one left to say Kaddish for them. In that spirit, we rise together as a community. Kaddish is on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, be'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mefarach Le'alam Lalmei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dikudsha B'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu va'al kol Yisrael va'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. Please be seated.
Alleluia,
I want to acknowledge the presence of our president, Seth Frank, who is here this evening. Representing our Board of Trustees this evening to bring greetings is our friend Sumi Okazaki. Do you want to do it from here or you want to come up? Okay, great.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
On behalf of our congregation, extend our deep gratitude to our friends from Israel for sharing your stories. Your pain is our pain, and we stand with you. And you're all here on the most important night of the month, so I don't really have too many announcements. It's a little slow in the summer, but just to kind of give you a heads up, so this coming Wednesday, there is a postcard writing party at, I think it's right next door at the tent, to write postcards to voters in the Bronx regarding the New York State Equal Rights Amendment and reproductive freedom issues. So please join us if you can on Wednesday. And then just to also give you a heads up that 2025 is the
World Zionist Congress.
World Zionist Congress election, where we'll be voting for a slate of representatives to lend our Reform Judaism's voice to what's happening in Israel. So we'll be kicking off a campaign this fall to get everybody in this congregation involved in voting for the WZC election. So keep an eye out for that. And if you're interested in helping us publicize about that, we're always looking for more volunteers. So please speak with Rabbi Mosbacher about that. Again, thank you for coming, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Sumi, thank you. We're going to continue with Kiddush, and you can find the words of Kiddush on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahavav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו אחתה ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen.
L'chaim. A minute ago, Ilan spoke about hope and faith in difficult times. We Jewish people are familiar with what that feels like. And Israel's national anthem is called Hatikva, which means the hope. And we feel that hope even in challenging times. And we invite you, please, to stand. We're going to conclude our service with Hatikva. If you would like to follow along, and the words are on page 374 in your Siddur.
Ulfate mizach
Shabbat shalom, my friends.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.